Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt your lower back complain before you even took the first step toward the door? Not a dramatic injury, not a fall, just a quiet ache, a stiff pull, a tiny warning from deep inside the body. And the strange part is this: the ability that helped make us human may be one reason that ache exists at all. Standing upright, freed our hands, raised our eyes, and turned a small, vulnerable body into something able to cross enormous landscapes. Those free hands could carry food, hold tools, lift children, point toward danger, and slowly change the future of our species. But evolution does not build perfect machines. It builds compromises, and every powerful advantage can hide a small mechanical price. Your back is not simply broken, it is old, carrying a story from before chairs, offices, cars, and glowing screens. Imagine the chair disappearing, the walls fading, the keyboard becoming stone, and the carpet turning into cold, prehistoric ground. The ache in the back is suddenly connected to a deeper question. What happens when a body rises onto 2 feet? Standing did not curse humans with pain in one moment, but it changed the job of the spine forever. The back was no longer just a bridge between shoulders and hips. It became a flexible tower, balancing the head above the feet. It had to bend, twist, carry, absorb shock, and still keep the body steady while the world stayed dangerous. So tonight, we are not only asking why your back hurts, we are asking why the human body stood up at all. To answer that, we must walk backward through time, toward the first ancestors who trusted their weight to 2 feet. Because before back pain became a modern complaint, standing upright became a survival deal, and phase 2 begins with that deal. To understand the human back, we have to imagine a world before roads, houses, farms, soft chairs, or safe indoor floors. There was only land, weather, hunger, danger, and the constant pressure to move before the next problem arrived. Somewhere in that long story, our ancestors began spending more time upright, testing balance, distance, and the weight of their own bodies. At first, it may not have looked heroic at all. Maybe awkward, temporary, and useful only in certain moments. Maybe a body rose to reach food, balance through branches, cross open ground, or carry something too important to drop. Scientists still debate the exact pressures, because bipedalism was probably not born from one simple reason, but many repeated advantages. But once the body stood up more often, everything changed, because the hands were no longer trapped in every step. Free hands could hold stone, carry food, protect a child, point toward danger, and teach another body what to do. Picture Wonder Stick Man on a plane, with a hunter ahead, a gatherer beside him, and the horizon wider than safety. They were not powerful like lions, not armored, not fur-covered, not the fastest creatures moving through that ancient grass. But they had balance, endurance, hands, memory, and each other. And that combination slowly became a different kind of strength. And quietly, at the center of this new way of living, the spine became one of the hardest working structures in the body. Every step sent force upward, every shoulder load pulled downward, and every uneven patch of ground asked the lower back to adjust. A child on the hip, a bundle of roots, or a tool in the hand changed balance again and again. This was the hidden cost of a beautiful ability. The world opened to humans, while the spine carried the fine print. Now look at the human spine, not like a hospital scan, but like a survival story drawn in bone, balance, motion, and memory. It is not a straight pole. It curves through the neck, the upper back, and the lower back, quietly helping us stand. That lower inward curve helps balance the chest, head, and arms above the hips, so every step does not collapse forward. So the curve is not the enemy. The curve is part of the solution that makes upright walking possible at all. But solutions can create new problems, because the same bend that balances the body also concentrates force near the lower back. The lower back sits where weight, movement, balance, and ground impact meet, like a tiny crossroads inside the standing body. When Wonder Stickman bends to pick up a stone, the back helps, but it also accepts the stress of that movement. When the hunter turns quickly toward a sound in the grass, the spine must twist while the feet stay ready. When the gatherer carries roots back to camp, the load pulls sideways, and the lower back quietly corrects the balance. A spine that can bend can also strain, and a system built for motion can complain when forces stack too high. A muscle that protects can tighten, a joint that moves can irritate, and a nerve that warns can make everything stop. That is why calling the human spine a bad design is too simple. It survived because it worked well enough. It allowed walking, carrying, climbing, throwing, gathering, and caring for others, which mattered more than feeling perfect forever. The problem is not that the spine failed. The problem is that it was asked to solve many jobs at once. And in evolution, good enough to survive can still mean painful later, especially when the world around the body changes completely. Now return to the ancient camp, but do not imagine paradise. Prehistory was cold, dangerous, uncertain, exhausting, and sometimes painfully unforgiving for every small body. A hunter walked, stopped, crouched, climbed, lifted, rested, then walked again, changing the back's job before one pattern could dominate the whole day. A gatherer bent toward roots, reached into shrubs, sat by fire, stood again, and carried food without staying frozen in one single posture. The ancient back worked hard, but its work was often varied. Small bends, long walks, brief rests, sudden turns, and changing loads. Now look at Wonder Stick Man today. He wakes, sits at breakfast, sits in traffic, sits at work, then looks down at a screen. His shoulders round, his hips fold, his muscles forget their wider range, and the lower back waits under one repeated shape. The ancient body did not evolve for perfect comfort, but it also did not evolve for endless stillness inside straight walls. This is where the twist appears. Standing upright created a sensitive system, and modern life presses it in strange, repetitive ways. A chair seems harmless, a screen seems harmless, and the soft room feels safer than any prehistoric plane outside. And yes, it is safer. No cave lion waits under the desk, and no freezing wind cuts through the office. But safety can hide a different problem, because the body expects changing loads, changing angles, and muscles working together through motion. When life becomes too still, the old system may begin to protest, not with words, but with stiffness and warning pain. That ache is not proof that you are weak. It may be a message from a body built for a wider world. A world of ground, weather, distance, and motion is gone from daily life. Yet its memory still lives inside the back. So Phase 5 begins with the real mirror. Modern pain is not just damage, but a conversation between two human worlds. So what should we do with this story? Not blame the spine, not blame evolution, and not pretend ancient humans were pain-free. They suffered too. They were injured, aged, carried heavy loads, crossed hard ground, and lived without hospitals waiting beyond the firelight. But their bodies belonged to another rhythm, shaped by walking, bending, carrying, resting, watching, and moving with the group. Our problem is strange because we live between two worlds. Ancient bones inside modern rooms, under clocks, screens, chairs, and stress. The lower back stands between those worlds, holding up the modern human while remembering the ancient body that walked, lifted, and searched. When Wonder Stickman touches his back, he is touching a timeline. Spine, pelvis, legs, hands, tools, children, food, and fire. Much later, those same bodies were placed in rooms, asking the spine to stay still, while the mind runs all day. Maybe that is why back pain feels so personal. It is inside us, but it belongs to a story larger than one person. On one side, an ancient human stands near firelight, spine curved under tools, hunger, cold, danger, and hope. On the other side, a modern human sits under screen light, carrying deadlines instead of stone tools, and touching the same lower back. Different worlds, same body. And somewhere between them is the truth. Standing upright did not make humans broken. It made humans possible, lifting the eyes, freeing the hands, and letting a fragile creature walk into a wider world. But the back still carries the price of that possibility, a small column of bone and memory holding up the human story. So the next time your lower back whispers after a long day, maybe listen carefully. It may not only be pain, it may be an ancient alarm, reminding you that your body was built to rise, move, carry, gather near fire, and keep walking into darkness.